Zizii is a genius. Let's start there. If you haven't heard of her, hear me now and believe me later. On the 11th, 13th, and 16th of May, she released 3 songs called Acapella, Acapella 2, and Acapella 3, respectively. After I took a 2-month break from Instagram, these 3 songs were like the first thing I heard when I got back, and I was just immediately like,
fuck, I gotta talk about this.
The term acapella means in chapel style, like how choirs sing in church with no backing band. And if you've ever heard a religious choir singing to the Lord with just voices, then you understand that less is more, especially if you're trying to convey something important. Zizi's message is clear enough in the music, and we're going to get into that in great detail, but she did an interview with Before the Spotlight Media, and here's a little snippet of that.
I mean, like, just be yourself, bro. Like, do what you want to do. And just be yourself. Like, I feel like that's something that's so important in this age. Like, I don't know, I feel like some people are trying to copy and it's tiring, bro. But you know what's not tiring? Yourself, because there's no one like you. So you feel me? Like, just be yourself, bro. Like, do what you want to do.
Just be yourself sounds like a meaningless cliche until you actually see somebody pull it off. And these 3 songs are like if being yourself was a genre. I kind of buried the lead here, but the reason these songs are called a cappella is because the beats are made almost entirely out of just Zizi's voice, minus the bass and finger snaps. She didn't invent this. It's a concept that goes back decades, at least as far as Don't Worry, Be Happy by Bobby McFerrin. But Zizi's approach to this is honestly really unique. The amount of restraint and subtlety that these songs have while being so in your face and bombastic at the same time is so impressive that I had to come up with a term for it. Let me introduce you to the house with 1,000 doors. Basically, no matter what kind of music you like, no matter how passively or attentively you listen, no matter what kind of mood you're in, you have an entry point into Zizi's world. Need some motivation? These songs feel triumphant. Fed up with the state of the world? She is too. Don't like overly serious, preachy music? There is hella silliness in these songs, both lyrically and in the beat. Are you a theory nerd? She's got melodic complexity for days. Just want to hear a catchy pop song and shut your brain off? This shit is guaranteed to get stuck in your head even if you don't remember the words. So let's go through these songs one by one and see what themes we can pick out, shall we?
I really get on this bitch and I sing acapella.
Okay, we're 3 seconds in and there's already so much to talk about. Okay, first off, if you've ever used FL Studio or any type of beat-making software with synth pads, I'm sure you've seen some setting called like Angel Choir or whatever. There's thousands of settings pre-recorded to make this type of sound, but honestly, how many of them can you say have this much soul? Quick sidebar. Auto-tune and vocal processing are, in my opinion, the same thing as playing an instrument. The results are entirely dependent on the delivery of the singer. If you're one of those people who think the human touch is lost when you use any kind of vocal processing,
Get your 2008 ass opinion the hell out of my face.
you can hear the difference. Anyway, by the time you get to the 30-second mark, you've got all the lore you need to understand why these songs exist. Tried rapping, wasn't working. Tried making beats, wasn't the right sound. What if my voice is all I need? Next we get this line.
This economy fucking up prices, and I'm about to turn 21. These boomers fuck this shit all up, and they want me to pay the price.
I'm pretty sure I'm like 2 entire generations older than Zizi, and I'm like, this is too relatable, man. Just waking up every morning thinking, damn, I'm never gonna be able to buy a house, huh? But this is not a complaint fest, because immediately after that comes this.
Still fuck you, I will not be paying the price. You cannot stake claim over me.
If that's not motivation, I don't know what is. Towards the end of the song, there's at least 2 more melodies added to the mix. If you want to play a fun little game while listening to this, think of each melody as the vowel sound that it's making, and try to think about what each letter is doing individually. O and A are really killing it out front. But let's move on to part 2, by far my favorite of the 3 songs.
These niggas not fucking with me, I'm for real.
Okay, first off, what is this chord and how many layers of vocals are mixed here? It kind of reminds me of Lauryn Hill's version of Can't Take My Eyes Off You. The layered vocals create a chord that almost sounds like a horn section. Acapella 2 has been stuck in my head since I heard it. It's straight ear candy. But unlike most catchy, pop-oriented songs, this one actually takes you on a journey melodically. Okay, right at the 35-second mark, the beat gets a little silly. But before you even have time to laugh about it, you get hit with zizi's full voice, hyping herself up in a way that doesn't feel jokey at all. The whole time the beat is going, but not only is the mood juxtaposed, so is the melody. Okay, hear me out. If you consider the blah, blah, the anchor of the song, the boy, boy, boy parts of that are on the lower end of that scale, while the bars she's singing are in a high register. But by the end of that song, she fully switches the dynamic on its head and puts a very trebly in there while the vocals hit a lower register. The fact that this song is only 2 minutes and the melodic structure flips subtly without being too obvious is why I called her a genius at the beginning of this video. And again, even if you're not the type of person who notices shit like that, you'd still probably be like,
damn, this sounds good for some reason.
And that's valid. Enter through whichever door you like. But also, this is the song with the mission statement.
I made this shit for my enjoyment. I really hope that you enjoyed it.
I made a video a few weeks back called The Problem with Underground Music. Go watch it. Where I talked about how artists have become obsessed with data metrics and trying to pay their way into relevance. And in a time where that's become the norm, it's almost a revolutionary act to just make shit you like and gently put it out there to see if other people will like it. If you're a musician in any genre watching this, I really hope that resonates with you. It really isn't that hard to believe in yourself. Zizii makes that shit look easy. Wait. Zizii makes that shit look... Hang on. Yo. Just kidding. Moving on to part 3.
I go this path on my own.
Whoa. Okay, each song so far has drifted a little bit further away from traditionally pretty melodic chords. We've now drifted off into anxious chord territory. The first 30 seconds of this song feel surprisingly like desperate and intense. Not just the lyrics and melody, but also the delivery. She's not coming in on the one at all. It almost feels like offbeat or something, but it isn't. It's just harder to tell without a drum track there. Trained ears. But once the bass and snaps do kick in, Zizi's raw voice comes in with no processing and starts hyping herself up just to add levity to the thing.
It's easy.
Again, counterbalance is key to why all of this works so well. But overall, this one has the darkest tone. I recommend listening to all 3 of these in order. The line where she says, "When I give a fuck about everyone else, they want me to die," hits a lot harder after you've listened to 2 songs of her coming in mostly positive on everything. It all gets tied together at the end, though. The last third of this song is just the line, "Let my soul free," over and over again. I think it's an underrated skill to know which bars to repeat for like 16 bars. I'm sure we can all think of examples where this has gone wrong, where you're like,
Okay, I get it.
Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang.
but this was the perfect line to repeat. Remember at the beginning when I talked about the definition of the word acapella, meaning chapel style? Imagine, if you will, a church choir singing this.
Let my soul free. Let my soul free. Let my soul free.
It would hit, wouldn't it? Anyway, if you couldn't tell, I highly recommend these songs. They work individually, they work as a series, they work back to back on repeat, and if you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. More reviews, top 5s, and whatever else coming soon. Perfect.